Howdy everyone, I'm Damos900 aka TheXploder, and today I'm here to show you a few handy things when gathering mats in the Char starting area in Guild Wars 2. Now before we start, here are a couple of things to keep in mind. For the purpose of this video, I will be skipping most of the gathering spots, enemies and events, but I encourage you to kill and participate in everything that comes your way. You will need an abundance of picks, axes and sickles for the sake of this trip. And you'll also need some form of salvage kit or a few salvaging kits. We are going to come across a lot of salvageable loot, so be ready for it. With all this in mind, let's hop to it. Now, here's my path that I like to take when I'm gathering mats. I start at the village of Smokestead and work my way up to Gunbreach Hills, hopping over to Teller Range and Devourer's Mouth to the north. After here, I go to Lake Veritas and through the small encaved area with bats to get to Old Duke's estate. Once here, I head south towards Victor's Presidium and onwards from there to Char's Triumph. I then move from that location up to Ashford Forum and then on to the Devast district, including the Abbey Ruins. On to Phasmatic Corridor and north to Ascalon City. From here, I start heading back, first off to the Toppled Wall and onward to Agnos Gorge. From there I go to Martyr's Woods and cut down back to Old Duke's estate. You can have a look at the map path that I have created by clicking on the link in the description below. Now, as well as gathering mats for mining spots, trees and bushes of grub, we also require unique mats such as tiny claws, tiny fangs, tiny bars of blood and much more. Here are a few handy spots to grind for some of these mats. First off, there's Lake Adoria, or anywhere you can locate drakes. Drakes have a chance of dropping tiny claws and tiny scales. Next, there is the Ascalon Basin, one of my favourite grinding spots. You can also go anywhere else that has an abundance of fish. Fish tend to only drop tiny scales, so if you're in desperate need of them, I suggest going to the basin rather than the lake. Next is Old Duke's estate, where you can grind off of Ascalon soldiers, archers, peasants and any other ghostly enemies for dust. Dust can be used in conjunction with bronze using the Discovery tab whilst weaponsmithing to create grinding stones, which increase the conditioning of your weapon and give you bonus EXP from kills. The last enemies to look out for are Devourers and Grubs that can be located southeast of Phasmatic Corridor, northwest from Lamia Mire and northeast from the Devast district. Devourers drop scales and venom sacs, while Scrubs drop venom sacs and also tiny fangs, which are very useful for artisans. Now before we end the video, I would like to share with you guys a quick tip when it comes to leveling up your smithing skills using the Discovery tab. I hope this helps you out. Okay guys, so here's a little bit of a tutorial for you as to how to properly use the Discovery function when smithing. Now this could apply to anything, whether it's weaponsmithing, armor smithing, tailoring, jewel crafting, you name it, it could probably apply to it. So the best way to think about it is, or the best way to use the Discovery, is to get your refinements, obviously refined, in my case iron ingots, but it also works for bronze and things like that. But what you want to create are green wooden dowel, or if you're a high enough level, bronze plated dowel. What this will enable you to do is to then be able to create inscriptions. And inscriptions are basically the one thing that you need in order to use the Discovery function incredibly well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a resilient bronze plated inscription which will basically add toughness to anything that I create. So we're going to craft that. Now for me it didn't give me any experience because I'm already level 76, but if you're level lower than level 75 it will give you quite a bit of experience just for making that on its own. But after you make that, we obviously need something to combine it with. And lucky for me, I now have enough stuff to create an iron greatsword. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to make our iron greatsword blade and our iron greatsword hilt. And then we're going to go to Discovery. Now in the discovery, obviously, all your things will show up in the discovery menu. But what we want to use is our iron. You want to basically use the two things that make up your equipment, so the iron grade sword blade and the iron grade sword hilt, and then use your resilient bronze plated inscription. Now in this case it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because if you look at inscriptions, we're using the wrong kind of inscriptions, because now we have to use vigorous inscriptions or ravaging soft inscriptions. Basically we need to use soft inscriptions now that we're using iron equipment. However, for you guys will be using mighty bronze or green inscriptions for your equipment. In this case I'm going to show you an example of using them with that. So let me see here. See what I've got. Sorry, my inventory is a bit clogged up. Put that there and put that there. Get those two bits out. Get back in. No, don't auto run away from me. Silly cat. So anyway, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to make a simple sword. So bronze sword blade. And I need more ingots. Fantastic. Luckily I'm right next to one of the master weaponsmiths, so I can get some more lumps of tin. And that's one thing to keep in mind, by the way. You need plenty of lumps of tin for plenty of bronze. Keep that in mind. So I'm going to craft all 5 so I can get myself 25 bronze ingots. Bronze ingot! And I'm going to make the bronze sword hilt. Now that we've made them, we go onto the discovery menu. We put in the bronze sword blade. We put in the bronze sword hilt. And we put in the resilient bronze plated inscription. Now it doesn't work for me because I've already created it. Because if we now go into production, I've actually got it down here. But if you do it through discovery, it will make it all look shiny and this will appear. And you'll be able to now use a recipe to create resilient bronze swords, which for me have those stats, but for you might be completely and utterly different. But there's an easy understanding as to how you can quickly level up your smithing or whatever you're doing from 0 to 75 just by using inscriptions. By using inscriptions, you're taking advantage of getting the widest variety of items that you can make, so that if you are in a guild or if you do want to make money on the side, you can do that. Or you can just level it up easy. Simple as that, really. But I hope that's helped you, and I hope the rest of this video has helped you as well. So after all this, I hope this video has helped you out and made your time for finding these pesky mats worthwhile and somewhat enjoyable. If you have any tips of your own, as well as your own personal paths and farming locations, share them either with a video response or in the comments below, so you can share your experiences with the masses. Thank you for watching this handy guide for gathering mats as the Char in the plains of Ashford. Until next time, goodbye fellow gamers, goodbye, and I'll be seeing you guys on the battlefield.